Hi everyone, welcome to Belly Strong. Today we'll be talking about a particularly important topic for pregnancy, and that is pelvic girdle pain, which basically refers to a collection of symptoms and pain that can occur around the pelvic region during pregnancy. I'd encourage you to share this video with anyone you know that has it because it can be a real killer, and subscribe to the channel to check out or see when more videos like this are out. So pelvic girdle pain, like I said, refers to pain around the pelvic, lower back or hip region, and common areas of symptoms include the pubis, or right at the frontier on the pelvic bone, the inner thigh, groin, sides of hip, across the low back, and even the vagina or the rectal area. Common activities that make the pain worse include turning over in bed, twisting activities like getting out of the car, when you're walking or balancing on one leg, like when you're putting on pants in the morning, or even just walking upstairs. And typically once it starts, it tends to get worse unless there's some form of intervention. It's not dangerous, but it can make life pretty miserable. So today we'll go through some tips to help with pelvic girdle pain. Symptoms reported by women typically include pain or even a clicking or grinding sensation or noise around the pelvic region. And this is caused by loosening ligaments during pregnancy, causing the pelvis to become less stable. So things are shifting around a bit more, which means when the pelvis is exposed to load during tasks like standing up or getting out of the car or lifting things, the pelvis is less able to cope with those loads and we start to get pain. During pregnancy, the abdominal muscles also stretch quite a significant amount, which also reduces the stability around the pelvis. Add on top of that a growing baby, there is a lot of pressure down on that pelvic region. There are some lifestyle adjustments that you can adopt to help ease the pain. So some of these would be keeping your legs and feet together when doing movements like turning over in bed or getting out of the car or getting out of bed in the morning. You want to keep your knees and your feet together to reduce any twisting movements or twisting forces on the pelvis. During single leg activities, like walking upstairs, for instance, you'll want to do those one step at a time. And you can also sit down when putting your pants on, so you're not standing on one leg trying to figure out how to get your pants on in the morning. An important thing to do is also, before you engage in any activity, think about bracing the abdominals. And this is something that we have a video on, how to activate the core abdominals. But just going through that step of thinking about activating your stabilizers before movement can help. A support belt can also really create some external stability or external support around the pelvis. And I'd encourage you to get one that doesn't only support the belly or hold the belly up, but actually supports the pelvis too. Another thing that works great for pelvic girdle pain is movement in water. So there's a lot of weight just with normal gravity standing in a room, but as soon as you get into water, there's less force pushing down on all of those joints, and you'll find that you might be able to move a bit more in water. So now we'll go through a few releases to help with pelvic girdle pain. And if you are pain-free and just looking to prevent the condition, I'd encourage you to check out our weekly workouts, specifically our core workouts, to really focus on strengthening some of the muscles around the pelvic region to provide that stability. Ultimately, we don't want to use a belt unless absolutely necessary, and we want our abdominal muscles and core muscles to be performing the function of an external stability or support belt, and go to that belt later on in pregnancy if you're really struggling with pain. So our first exercise is a figure 4 stretch, and you can do this sitting on a chair. I will demonstrate on a mat, but you're going to bring one leg over the other, sit up tall as you push the chest forward and open until you feel a stretch in the glute or buttock area. And this is opening up the hip, opening up the glutes, and opening up the low back. If you're struggling with pain or you struggle to get down to the mat, just do this sitting on a chair, crossing one leg over the other, back straight and leaning forward. And you can hold this for 10 to 15 seconds at a time. Release and then repeat. We'll then move on to some muscle energy techniques, and these can be done in lying or once again in sitting on a chair if that is more comfortable. But you'll need a rolled up towel, a rolled up pillowcase, a little ball, just something to place between your knees for the first one. So you'll lie on your back and place your rolled up towel or ball between your knees. And what you're doing is you're squeezing the thighs, so pushing into that rolled towel or whatever is placed between your knees, holding for 3 to 4 seconds, and then releasing. And you squeeze again, and release. And what this is doing is, because there's no movement happening at the knees, the force continues to travel up the muscles and helps with micro movements of the joints of the pelvis. So it mobilizes some of the really, really small joints surrounding the pelvis, which can help with pain. And you can do 8 to 10, 3 to 4 second squeezes in this position. The next one is a similar concept but pushing out. And this can be done again sitting on a chair or lying on your back. Once your belly gets in the way, it can get a bit difficult lying on your back. But you'll bring your legs up. You'll cross your arms over and you're pulling in. Now this time we're pushing out against our hands, holding for 3 to 4 seconds, and then releasing. And again, pushing out, hold 3 to 4 seconds. Try not to let the knees move and relax. And this again is transferring that force up into the pelvis to mobilize some of those small joints. And once again, you can do this sitting on a chair if it is more comfortable. And we can do 8 to 10 reps of these. Our next exercise mobilizes the low back, but also strengthens the glutes, and it's a bridge. We want to start off by tucking that pelvis under and peeling up. So we're lifting our spine off the mat, one section or one vertebra at a time, holding as you squeeze the glutes, and then laying the spine back down on the mat, one vertebra or one section at a time. So we'll do that again. We tuck under, peel up, lifting from the bottom to the top, squeezing the glutes at the top. This is where the strength comes in. And then laying back down onto the mat, one vertebra at a time. So we're working on some pelvic control here. We're also mobilizing the low back and the pelvis as we do this. And this is a nice, gentle way to start strengthening, but if it makes your symptoms worse or provokes pain, stop and go on to something that doesn't hurt. We'll then move into a kneeling position. We've got 2 more left. And this is also to mobilize the pelvis. So you'll be in a half kneeling position. Take your front leg a little bit out to the side so you're stable. And in this position, we're just tilting that pelvis, rocking it back and forth. So this is once again mobilizing the pelvis, mobilizing the lower spine, and you're also getting a bit of a hip flexor stretch. The hip flexors tend to get really tight during pregnancy as our posture changes. So this also provides a bit of a stretch to that muscle. If it's too painful for you to be in this split lunge or split kneeling position, then try out some of our other exercises. And you can do 10 to 15 of these on each side. Our last one is another abdominal activation technique, and it's in an all fours position. And what you want to do here is, so let the stomach relax to start with. As you exhale, you're going to pull that belly up, flatten the ribs, brace the abdominals, and just hold this for 5 seconds, and then release. And again, lift, hold, flatten those ribs, brace those abs, and release. And this is training those deep abdominal stabilizers. Once this is easy for you to do, you'll then lift up that belly, hold, and you can add a leg lift, focusing on keeping that core engaged, not letting that belly drop, and keeping those hips facing the mat. And this is again working some of our deep core and pelvic stabilizers to help provide more stability around that pelvis. Once that gets easy, you can add an opposite arm lift into our Superman. And the focus here is not letting the torso move at all, just that arm and leg moving while we maintain that abdominal bracing. So those are some of our key releases and activation techniques to help with pelvic girdle pain. And like I said, if you are pain-free at the moment and just looking to prevent it, then have a look at some of our core workout videos. If you're really struggling, I'd encourage you to see a pelvic physiotherapist or chiropractor or someone who treats pregnant women with pelvic girdle pain for some hands-on manual techniques and an individual assessment and treatment program. That is it for today. Share with anyone you know who is struggling with pelvic girdle pain. Subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this, and I will see you soon on another Belly Strong episode.